When you hear the word homeless, what do you envision? A drug addict? A criminal? A troubled youth? Or do you ignore these negative stereotypes and see them for what they really are? Displaced people. There are 100 million homeless individuals around the world, with an additional 1.6 billion without adequate housing. Out of these 100 million individuals, 1.75 million of them are from the U.S. That's 3 times the population of Long Beach. Homelessness is a problem, but not one that should be looked upon negatively. Instead, we need to move past the thought that homeless people are bad and move towards realizing that they need our help. While many view the homeless with negative connotations, the reality is that homeless people come in all shapes and sizes due to a situation or a series of events that was out of their control. When thinking of factors of homelessness, it's easy to dismiss everyone as being an addict, a criminal, or a mentally ill. But oftentimes we'll see that the factors are oftentimes more complex than one might think. Even though addiction and mental illness account for about 2.25% of homelessness, the primary reason for being homeless is the lack of affordable housing.
According to the U.S. Conference of Mayors, the most common reason for homelessness among individuals and families is the lack of affordable housing, followed by poverty and unemployment. The mayors also propose solutions to these common causes, such as more housing for persons with disabilities, more employment opportunities, and more assisted housing units. But unfortunately, despite all efforts, there are no fewer places for the poor to rent than in the past. The U.S. needs at least 7 million additional affordable apartments for families and individuals with low incomes so that they would not need to spend more than half of their monthly income on rent alone. Another factor we should mention is that despite popular belief, homelessness also affects a large population of women. With 25% of the homeless population being female, over 90% of the time the reason for this is domestic violence. These battered women are forced to flee their homes and seek refuge in shelters or on the streets. These women are also put into a situation where they'll have to bring their kids along with them, which presents another unique set of problems. With homelessness on the rise, action needs to be taken place in order to decrease the homeless population. On a national scale, we need to change the legislation in order to give the homeless a better chance. According to a 2014 study of the 187 U.S. cities by the National Law Center of the Homelessness and Poverty, 24% of cities make it a citywide crime to beg in public, 33% make it illegal to stand around or loiter in the city, 43% make sleeping in a car a crime, and 53% make it illegal to sit or lie down in certain public places. In addition to this, more than 30 cities also passed local legislation that criminalizes feeding the homeless. Once we are able to eliminate such legislation, we can then move forward to create policies that will help the homeless instead of just turning a blind eye. But until this becomes realized, we can help daily to work on a smaller scale in order to alleviate some of the daily struggles. For instance, soup kitchens are always looking for volunteers. These charitable organizations feed thousands of people daily and oftentimes are people's only source of nutrition. Another thing you could do to help is simply treat the homeless with kindness and respect. It's shocking how often people will treat them as something less than human or even just ignore them completely. To be treated like this for a prolonged period of time has potential to affect one negatively. So if we really want to help the homeless, the U.S. needs to take a good long look in the mirror and realize that we aren't doing everything we can do. As a nation, we need to change our perspective towards the homeless before any real changes will be made.